I am my son's uncle because my sister gave me her child to save him from his abusive father. But now she wants him back, and I can't lose him. I'm 36. I live in Portland. I work as a woodworker, making custom furniture. I have a workshop, a garage, an old pickup truck, a cottage by the lake. I live simply. I don't like noise. I don't like attention. But there's one thing I've never told. Not even my wife. Especially her. My name is David. I have a son, Luca. He's 7. He thinks I'm his father. But I'm not. I'm his uncle. His real father is the husband of my younger sister, Kate. When Luca was 2 months old, she came to me at night. No phone. No money. With a broken lip, in my old t-shirt that I gave her years ago. He's going to kill him, she said. Not me. Him. When he sees Luca afraid of him, he laughs. And he does worse. Her husband is a boxing coach. In public, he's a hero. In the ring, he's a teacher. At home, he's a monster. He didn't hit her face. He hit her body, where there's no sign. And when Luca cried, he said, "Sons don't cry. I'll fix him." He's tried, Kate said. He held him under the water in the bathtub. He said, "I'll teach him not to be afraid." I pulled him out, but I might not make it next time. I didn't ask if she was sure. I took Luca, and he said, "Now he's mine." We organized an escape. Not a drama, but a plan. I officially registered custody through a lawyer I know who works with cases of violence. Under the pretext, sister is in a mental crisis. Can't take care of the child. The documents are legal. The right is mine. Kate disappeared. Moved to Alaska. Doesn't call. Doesn't write. I thought, she saved herself. And let me save him. And then, 2 weeks ago, she appeared. Standing on the porch. In the rain. Without an umbrella. "I want my son back," she said. "I went through rehab. I'm free of fear. I'm not afraid of him anymore. And I have the right to my son." Luca was in the workshop. He was cutting wood with a model knife. He was laughing. "He thinks you're an ant," I said. "I know," she said. "But he's my blood. And I can't live without him." I didn't answer. I just closed the door. And now I have to decide whether to give her my son or keep the one I consider mine. And I don't know which is better, because both options are destructive. And I just want the boy to be able to sleep without fear. I couldn't call Kate, not because I was angry, but because I was afraid she would say something I wouldn't forget. Something like, "He's my son, and you're just an uncle." So I called a lawyer, Mark Ellis. He had taken out custody 5 years ago. He didn't ask for money. He said, "I'm doing this because I know what it's like." His sister had been through the same thing. "Mark," I said, "Kate's back. She wants Luca back." Silence. "What does she look like?" "Tired," I said, "but confident. She says she's been in rehab, that she's not afraid anymore." "And you believe her?" "I don't know," I said. "But I know that Luca is afraid of men who scream, that he cries when he hears loud noises, and that when I hold him before bed, he whispers, 'You won't give me away?'" "Legally," Mark said, "you are his father. The custody is done according to all the rules." She was accused of improper care because of that episode when she failed to protect the child. She can sue, but the chances of regaining custody are slim, especially if you can prove that she was in a state of addiction, emotional, psychological. "But she wasn't addicted to alcohol or drugs," I said. "She was addicted to fear." "That's also an addiction," he said. "But the court doesn't always see it that way. And if she shows up with a doctor, with evidence of rehabilitation, with stable housing, they can reconsider the decision. It will take a long time, painful, and the child will end up in the center. And if I just give him away, then you will lose everything," he said. "Not only him. You will lose yourself. What you did is not kidnapping. It is rescuing. But now you have to decide. Will you defend him, or will you back down?" I hung up the phone and sat for a long time. A day later, Kate wrote, "Asterisk, I don't want a court. I want him to know me, so that he can choose for himself. Let him meet me. If he says, 'I want to be with my aunt,' I will disappear forever. But I have the right to a chance." I couldn't answer, not because I didn't want to, but because I understood. If Lucas saw her, he would ask, "Why did you leave me?" And I didn't know how to answer that. A week later, I took him to the park. I didn't tell him who she was. Just, "Today you will meet a woman who loves you very much. She's your aunt, and she wants to talk to you." She was waiting, in a simple sweater, without makeup. She was crying, even before he came up. Lucas stopped. He looked. He wasn't scared. He didn't run away. Hello, he said. Are you crying? Yes, she said. Because I am very happy to see you. He thought. Then he said, my dad says that Mom died. But he lies because he doesn't want me to be sad. I'm freezing. I'm not your mother, she said. But I am your mother. Do you understand? Yes, he said. You are the one who gave birth to me. And he is the one who raised me. She nodded. She didn't blame me. She didn't ask. I want you to know me, she said. Not because I want to take you, but because you're my blood. And I don't want you to think that I abandoned you. I saved you and gave you to someone who can protect you. Luca looked at me, then at her. Aren't you afraid anymore? No, she said. But I understand that you are afraid. And I'll wait until you're ready. He didn't go to her. But he didn't go to me either. He just said, I'll think about it. And in that moment I understood. This is not about the right. This is about trust. And now the choice is not mine. It's his. We drove home in silence. Lucas sat in the back seat, looking out the window. He wasn't crying. He wasn't playing. He was just thinking. I didn't dare ask, what do you feel? I was afraid the answer would tear me apart. That evening, when I was putting him to bed, he suddenly said, Dad, why couldn't she protect me herself? I fell silent. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because I did, and I was afraid of how it would sound. She tried, I said. But when someone is very strong and you are weak, sometimes it's impossible to protect yourself, even if you really want to. But she's my mother, he said. A mother should always protect. Yes, I said. And she wanted to, but she was scared. And when a person is scared, they can't think clearly. They can't be strong. Sometimes all they can do is run away and give someone else a chance to protect you. Are you strong? I'm trying, I said. Not because I'm stronger than that man, but because I'm not afraid for myself. I'm afraid for you, and that makes me stronger. He thought about it. Then he said, Isn't she afraid now? She's been helped, I said. She's learned not to be afraid. But that doesn't mean she can come back and say, I'm strong now. Take the baby back. Because you're not a thing. You're someone who has the right to choose. And if I choose her, then I'll take you to her, I said. And I'll say, she'll be your mother. And I am your dad. And I will always be there for you. And if I choose you, then she will understand, I said. And she will back down. Not because she doesn't love you, but because she loves you enough not to hurt you. He paused. Then he said, But she is my mother. Yes, I said. By blood. But a mother is not only blood. She's the one who raises you, who hugs you, who doesn't let you be afraid. And I don't want you to choose between her and me. I want you to choose between security and doubt. And she won't make me unhappy? I don't know, I said. But I know that you have the right to know her, to talk, to see. And when you grow up, decide who your family is. But now you are still small, and your family is those who do not let you in. He nodded. He did not understand everything, but he heard. I want her to come, he said, but not take away, so that I can decide for myself. That's how it will be, I said. You're not a thing. You are a person, and your word is the most important thing. A week later she came again, not to the porch, for a walk. She brought a drawing that she had made, Luca on a tree that I built in the yard. She wrote, My family. He looked at it. Then he said, I have not decided yet, but thank you for the drawing. She nodded. She did not ask. She did not cry. She simply said, I will wait, even if it takes years. I stood and looked at them, and I understood. This is not war. This is not about property. This is about loving a child when you lost it to save it. And now I had to decide whether to let her be a part of his life, or to protect him by closing the door. I thought the worst thing would be choosing between Kate and Luca, but the worst thing came in the mail. It was a letter from the court, not for me, for Kate. But she sent me a scan. Court summons. Case, James Ridley versus Kate Ellis. Motion for paternity and joint custody. I read it twice. I couldn't figure it out. How'd he find her? How'd he find me? James Ridley is Luca's father. He did 5 years for assaulting a woman, not for hitting Kate, but for another case. I thought he'd forgotten about them, that he'd disappeared. But no. I called Kate. Do you know about this? Yes, she said. He got out 2 months ago. He found me on social media. He started writing. He said, I've changed. I want to be a father. Do you believe him? No, she said. But he's not threatening. He's asking. And he knows Luca is with you. He says, I don't want to kidnap him. I want him to know me. It's the same game, I said. First the asking, then the control. Then the destruction. I know, she said. That's why I said no. But he filed a lawsuit, and now they're considering his request. And Luca, he doesn't know, she said. And I don't want him to know. Not now. Not while he's still afraid of voices. I hung up, and he sat there, staring at the door of the workshop where Luca was making a model airplane. Singing, laughing, living. And a few hundred miles away, a man who wanted to destroy it. The next day I went to see Mark, my lawyer. He could demand visitation rights. Mark said, especially if paternity is established, and the DNA test is just a formality. But he's a rapist. Yes, Mark said. But the court doesn't see the past. All it sees is a father who wants to be with his son. And if he doesn't face charges after prison, they can allow supervised visits. And what? That means he'll see Luca, talk to him, maybe even touch him. And if the boy isn't afraid, they'll start increasing the time. What if he's afraid? Then they'll say, it's normal anxiety. He doesn't know his father. And they'll continue. I couldn't breathe. And what should I do? We can press charges, he said. Provide evidence of past abuse. Doctors, psychologists, the police. But that means you'll reveal everything. And Luca will find out who he really is. And why he's with you. What if I keep quiet? Then they'll accept my father as a normal citizen who wants to reconnect. And they'll give him a chance. I went home. Luca waited. Dad, why do people sometimes want to be together, even if it hurts? Because they think they love, I said. But sometimes it's not love. It's the need to control. Are you controlling me? No, I said. I'm protecting you. They're different things. He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, I don't want anyone else to touch me. And you don't have to, I said. Never. Even if he says he's your father. You're your own. 2 weeks passed. I couldn't keep quiet any longer. Not because I was afraid of the trial, but because I understood that if Luca found out the truth from strangers, he would lose me forever. So I spoke. Not in court. Not through a lawyer. But in the evening, on the porch, under the stars, where we always talked about important things. Luca, I said, there's one thing you need to know, and I don't want you to find out from anyone else. He looked at me. He wasn't scared. He waited. I'm not your biological father, I said. Your real father is my sister Kate's husband. When you were 2 months old, he became very cruel, not only to her, and to you. And she came to me because she knew that I would protect you. Why didn't she protect you herself? Because she was scared, I said. Sometimes fear makes people weak. But she made the hardest choice, to run away to give you a chance. And she gave you to me. Not because she didn't love you, but because she loved you too much to let you stay there. And you? I took you in, I said. Not as a foster child, but as a son. And from that day on, I was your father. Not by documents, but by choice. By love. By the promise I made to myself. No one will hurt this child again. And why didn't you tell me before? Because I was afraid you would think, he's not the real me. But now I understand. You have the right to know the truth. Especially since your biological father is out of prison and wants to see you. He paused for a long time. Then he said, will he hurt me again? I don't know, I said. But I know you don't have to see him. Never. Even if the court says otherwise. You have the right to say, no. And I stand by you. And Kate, she's your biological mother. I said, but you have the right to decide who your family is. Who your dad is. Who your mom is. And I won't change, even if you say, I want to live with her. I'll always be there. He sat, not crying, just looking at the stars. Then he came over. He hugged me, very tightly. You're my dad, he said. Not because you raised me, but because you protect me. And no one will change that. I couldn't speak. I just held him. And I understood. This is not the end. This is the beginning of being more than just a guardian. But a dad every day. Not by blood, but by choice. A month later I filed a lawsuit. Not to hide the truth, but to reveal it. I gathered all the documents, police reports, medical reports, Kate's testimony. And I said, this is not about visitation rights. This is about whether it is safe for the child to see this man. The court denied his request. Currently, supervised visits are prohibited because of the history of abuse, because of the child's psychological state, because safety is more important than biology. Kate comes every week, not like a mother who wants to take him away, like an aunt who wants to be. And Lucas says, I haven't decided who my family is yet, but I know who loves me, and that's enough. And every morning, when I see him laughing, I think, you're not my blood, but you are my blood, because I couldn't live without you.